imagine an AI that doesn't just, answer your questions. Imagine one that runs your life, automates your entire business, and get this, it even improves itself while you're asleep. Well, that, right there, is the promise of OpenClaw. And in this explainer, we're going to break down how this open source tool creates a deeply personal AI that lives right on your very own computer. And listen, that's not just some marketing slogan. This is a direct quote from a developer and YouTuber, Matthew Berman, who's woven this system into pretty much every single part of his life. That's a huge claim, right? So let's dig in and find out what makes this thing so different. Okay, so what is OpenClaw really? At its core, it's basically a blueprint for building your very own AI. Now, open source means the code is out there for anyone to see and tweak. But the most important part, the part you really need to hear, is that it runs locally. All of your data, your private conversations, your entire digital world, it stays on your machine, not on some company's server in the cloud. That's a huge deal. So this isn't just another Siri or Alexa. The real magic of OpenClaw is how it becomes a digital copy of you. So how does it actually learn who you are? Well, it all kicks off with two really important files. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Think of that like this. On the left, you've got the identity.md file. That's the brain. It's all the facts, who you are, your job, hard and fast rules it has to follow. But then on the right, you have the soul.md file. And that's the heart. This is where you define its personality, its sense of humor, the tone it uses, whether it should be formal or super casual. You get to craft its entire vibe. And it doesn't just stop there. Your AI has a memory, and it's always evolving. It runs in this constant 4-step loop. First, it logs your chats. Then, it summarizes the important stuff. After that, it starts to notice patterns and figures out what you like. And then, this is the crazy part, it actually goes back and updates its own core identity and soul files based on what it's learned about you. It literally grows alongside you. So, we've seen how it gets to know you. Now, let's talk about how it becomes incredibly powerful. This is where OpenClaw stops being just a smart chatbot and turns into a full-on digital team that can run huge parts of your business for you. So, for example, let's talk about a personal CRM, a customer relationship manager. Instead of paying for some clunky off-the-shelf software, you can just build your own. This one here automatically pulls information from your Gmail, your Google Calendar, and even from the notes generated after your meetings. It pieces it all together to build this complete map of your professional life. And this isn't some tiny little project. That number you're seeing, 371, that's how many contacts this custom-built CLM is managing, completely on its own. It's tracking every interaction, it's gauging who you should talk to next. It's basically an entire sales and networking department running silently in the background. And here is the absolute game changer. You don't build this by writing thousands of lines of code. You build it by talking to it, just like this. In plain English, you just describe what you want. You literally say, hey, scan my stuff, find my contacts, and store them in a database. You speak your tools into existence. This is a massive shift in how we create software. Let's just zoom in on one of those workflows. So, a meeting ends. Boom. The system grabs the transcript. It scans through it and pulls out every single action item. Then, it shoots you a message on Telegram for a quick yes or no. The second you approve it, bam, it's in your to-do list app, ready to go. It's this beautiful, seamless pipeline connecting totally different services. And that little pipeline, that actually points to a much bigger idea here. It's about shifting our thinking away from software as just a single static tool, like a hammer that only does one thing. Instead, what you're doing is you're building an entire digital team of AI specialists that can work together to solve really complex problems. I mean, you can create a full-blown business advisory council. In this case, there are 8 separate AI agents. Each one has a different specialty, and their only job is to analyze your business and find ways for you to grow. And just to be clear, this isn't one AI wearing different hats. No. These are individual agents. You got your finance expert, your marketing guru, your data analyst. They all look at the problem from their own point of view. They actually debate each other, and then a synthesizer agent takes all their findings and boils it down into one single actionable report for you. All right, now for what is, quite honestly, the most futuristic part of this whole thing. OpenClaw isn't just a system you have to babysit and maintain. It's a system that can maintain, secure, and improve itself. So check out this nightly routine. At 3:30 in the morning, a special security council of AIs wakes up. They comb through the entire code base from 4 different perspectives: offense, defense, privacy, realism. They write up a report on any vulnerabilities they find, send it to you, and all you have to do is reply with 2 words, fix it. That's it. The system then deploys the fixes on its own. And its self-care doesn't even stop with security. The system also manages its own safety net. Every single hour, all of your data, the CRM, the notes, the whole shebang is automatically encrypted and backed up. It's proactive self-preservation, and it's just built right in. Okay, so let's pull back for a second and just look at the big picture. We see a lot. What does this massive shift towards personal, local, and automated AI actually mean for us? Well, it really comes down to these 4 things. 1, it runs locally, which means you have total privacy. 2, it's deeply personal, constantly learning from your personality and your interactions. 3, it can automate pretty much anything by stitching together the apps you already use. And finally, it improves itself, with teams of AIs working every night to make it better and more secure. And all of this, it all leads to one pretty profound question we have to ask ourselves. If anyone can build complex custom software just by describing it in plain English, what does that do to the future of the software industry? What does that mean for developers? That's definitely something to think about.
If you learned something new in this video, please do drop a like and follow for more tech content and educational videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.